Hello everyone, Season 37 game between Przemek and Larion. I wasn't commenting Iglo games for 2 months, I think. Przemek takes black. We have this Joseki. I think that the common move for white now is to jump, but white plays a Hane, which black obviously answers to. And well, white's shape is has some weakness, but black's shape also. So now black plays here, and potentially white could think of attaching, though black also makes a good shape easily. So instead, white answered to black's move, and then black adds a move on the right. This was an interesting variation. Hane and take the 5th line territory, but also make white much stronger, which matters because black already managed to create a bit strong group on the top. So maybe if we can keep white from getting stronger, let's even say with this move, maybe it is better, though we get a few less, a bit fewer points. Yes, in the game we have this. Black gets more points, but it's not yet completely points. White might think of invading, and for now white decided to prepare for invasion. That's a good idea. And for black it would also be reasonable to somehow answer. I play from here, like from here maybe is also possible, but white will be interested in pushing and strengthening the group in center, though maybe earlier white will try an invasion. The invasion might be really scary, but this area is important because it also puts some pressure on white's group, like not yet maybe, but potentially for the future the group might feel a little bit uncomfortable. For now we have a Joseki elsewhere. If I were white, I would probably answer on the bottom side because I would be a bit afraid of what happens in the game, that black goes from this side and then, well, we often attach to this stone, but if we do it, black certainly gets stronger, which will help black in attacking white's lonely stone on the bottom. And this variation leads to a bit similar result. Black got strong, and there is a good continuation for black of this and this move. So black gets and also later this clamp might be center. So black generally got stronger, and now white invades. Yeah, good, very smart to not just play from the stone on the bottom side and help black consolidate the area, but use this as a support for an invasion on the right side. And for black now, I think that the next move is the first which really doesn't feel proper for me in this game, because black plays from the side where, well, maybe many points can be taken, that's true, but also from the side of very strong stones. All these stones of black are very, very strong, and these stones are not strong at all. How do I clean the drawing? Like this. Yeah, so if I was black, I would certainly place something around here. This way, white might create a group on the right side, but first of all, black can still attack it quite strongly, and second, the stone of white on the bottom side becomes quite thin. So even if black doesn't take so many points on the right side, black will certainly get a compensation on the bottom side. And after this move, white hits the vital point of black's shape, and, well, yeah, black was afraid of playing a more aggressive move, and probably this was correct to be afraid of this. So black agrees on getting a bit thin shape, White can go through and cut, and white did it immediately. It was a bit scary fight. It would be possible to just calm down and connect in center, but well, white goes for the fight. And in the end, the fight did go good for white, but there were different possibilities here. So white plays an Atari. This is a Tesuji. Instead, what moves can we think of? Hane ends up with white being killed. And if white descends, black also descends, and again white is dead. But if we play Atari first, then later we can Atari again, play here, and basically white is out. Black could potentially consider trying to split white, but then it might end very bad for black. Maybe even black is dead here, quite likely. So white is out. But to this Tesuji, black has a counter Tesuji. What did black play in the game? Atari. And then before connecting, Atari again. If now white takes, then even though white captures the stone, black gets really a nice shape on the outside, and the white still doesn't have eyes. So white descends down, and only then black connects. This way, after white's Atari, it is easier for black to fight. However, in the game, black didn't fight. Probably black calculated and realized that actually still this fight is good for white. It seems that white is winning by 1 liberty, the capturing race. Well, it was a good try before connecting to make these exchanges. But at the end, if we cannot play this fight, but instead black played on the right side, then it is not a success for black. White got a very strong position. However, black could have done the same thing but from the other side. Atari here and then Atari this way. Again, if white captures, black squeezes white, and black is relatively satisfied with the result. And if white descends now it is different. Now black can connect and actually capture white. We can calculate a few variations here. If white takes liberties of this group, then black wins by 1 liberty. And if white starts to fight against the group on the outside, also black wins by 1 liberty. This way, black captures the group of white and black is satisfied. So it was very important to calculate the variation after this move and after this move at this point. If black did it, then black would have chosen this move, which would work much better. But in the game, it looked like a Tesuji for black, but in the end doesn't quite work. And the white gets a strong shape on the side and then extends. Yeah, makes sense. But maybe we can do the similar thing, but with a stronger move. Can we push here? Maybe this push doesn't seem to completely solve the problem of this area. So we need to think a bit. First of all, we will get this Atari in center. This is very convenient for white. And then we can clamp and go here, which captures black. Or if black tries to go out, then, well, it seems that this fight is actually good for white. So if we can play the push, very likely black is going to answer. If black doesn't answer, then the Atari is quite painful. So not sure if black answers, but if black answers, well, certainly we don't want to play an empty triangle. If anything, probably Atari is better, or maybe a jump, but not an empty triangle. But in the game, white plays this move. And well, if black doesn't answer, on the other hand, then we will be happy to get the Atari in center. So because this move is like a half center, it feels bad to play this extension because it is an empty triangle in disguise. It is a hidden empty triangle, invisible empty triangle. Yeah, so this is what we have in the game. Then black continues on the top side. This actually makes a lot of sense because if we don't do it, let's say we lose center somewhere, or even now we lose center, white's invasion might be quite strong, as white got so many stones here, and also here a strong shape. So white can start an attack on black, basically. Therefore, black reinforces the shape. Good direction. And white tries to build something on the left side. It's difficult to build, though, because of this combination of black, which reduces white's potential. In the game, black plays this move and white calmly answers, but I think this is not proper. White can certainly counterattack. White has so many stones, and if black cuts, I think that the fight will be very difficult for black, not for white. Especially that, well, one thing is what happens in the center, but there is another thing. White can attack this shape, or maybe invade immediately if white is afraid of that move. Maybe even play here. So black cannot freely fight if the shape next to this stone is a bit thin. It would be better to play here for black, or maybe, I don't know, here, because the shape really needs support. In the game, white lets black get this exchange in center. This is satisfactory for black. And then black plays this one. This one is not good because on the bottom side, both black and white are completely strong, completely alive, and no one is able to make a lot of points here. It's better to start with this combination. This is no harm. And then think probably about reducing the left side, like this, like that, or maybe playing something in this area. Maybe now we can try to annoy white a bit and force white for such a connection. Well, white will play this one. Yeah, but bottom side is very, very small. Very small value because both groups are alive on the bottom side. White still invades, and it would be better to play around here and expand the left side. White invades, and then again, as black, I would play here. Instead, black attaches. And well, so basically white was trying to make a wall in center. It made sense, this idea. But I think that black simply shouldn't answer. But it was logical for black to answer if the previous move was on the bottom side. Okay, but now black didn't want to agree on this happening and went up and tried to attack white. This looks quite like an overplay. Probably white has a way out. Let's think about playing like this, split black, then if we can get this in center, maybe something like that, make life and split black first. This would be very, very risky for black. But instead, white plays this move, which strengthens black on the outside. So the idea behind this move was that without it, we can only play here probably, but with that move, we can play an attachment. Though I think that if white wants to play the attachment, maybe white can do it right away. Or maybe not, okay. But well, I think that this is good enough because this is enough of a leverage to then jump out and split black's shapes. For now, this helps black. And then white added a move, otherwise there is a problem in the shape. So white adds a move and black decides to split white groups. But somehow, no, sorry, this is not the move from the game. In the game we have the Atari. Well, it's very painful to not get the descent first and then Atari, because if we just Atari, then white can capture. And after white captures, we will not be able to get this move in center in the endgame. So, but probably black didn't descend now, because black was afraid that after the descent, white can do it differently and now try to split black on the bottom side. So well, black plays this one, and then instead of capturing, white connects, and this is not good. Now this move is potentially center for black. Okay, and finally black splits white descends, and then black changes his mind. I wonder why, what exactly black was afraid of, but indeed the shape is a bit bad for black, and probably this combination can help white make life. What happens here? Well, like this white dies, but the corner also dies, so this is good for white. And if it goes like this, white is technically not alive locally. White has 4 liberties, so it's a lot of reading involved. Maybe white can still save his group, but I am not completely sure. Probably yes. So then black changed his mind and decided to reinforce the shape on the outside. White added a move, and then black played one more move on the outside. No, this is not how it went. Wait, white pushed first, and then black reinforced the shape. But it's very ironic. Black spent 2 moves to reinforce the shape on the outside, which is, well, in general good. Like, everything what happened until now was that black tried to attack white, white managed to connect, but at least black gets stones on the outside, which help black reduce white's potential. So it's all fine, though we gave a few points to white. But if we reinforce the shape, let's do it for real. Let's do it with this move, and then maybe we can play that one. Or if we play this, then the next move should be here, or maybe here. But like this, black plays 2 moves, but still there is a very obvious weakness in black's shape, and white hits it immediately. So if black plays like this, it's a normal game, it would be long game, but after black spends 2 moves and still doesn't help the shape, white goes through, cuts black, black needs to make life in the corner, and then very smartly, instead of answering here, there is no need for answering. White can also help the stones like this or like that. So instead of answering locally, white destroys black's shape on the outside, takes 8 points. And well, now white certainly has an advantage after all what happened. So it would be normal for black to just keep extending, but black was afraid that this way he will not have enough points. So instead, black starts an attack. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Actually, this is already a success. We can now extend, and now it is better than it used to be, but like we decreased white's territory a bit, but black tries to decrease it even more, and then white takes an opportunity to split black. Though what happens here looks good for black. Well, white shouldn't have attached in the first place. White should have just played here. Then maybe black still jumps, and then for sure white doesn't wedge. Or I don't know, maybe black plays like this, but then the fight is still difficult for black. But in the game, white played this one exchange and then changed his mind, and then black can split white. And in fact, black does it almost in center. Well, still maybe it's good to add a move, but maybe it's not necessary right away. Maybe it's fine for black to play like this. So even though black suffered some loss on the bottom, here black certainly gained a lot. So black is back in the game and should continue the game calmly. But it seems that black didn't appreciate enough what he got, and now tries to fight. But this decision to fight was very mistaken, because black has thin groups. Black has doesn't have 2 eyes yet with this group, and that group is still not connected. So yeah, probably it was caused by a feeling of dissatisfaction with the game, the decision to cut here and then to continue the cutting by this move. And well, this led to a final damage to black, because then white plays a very direct play and destroys black's eyes. Black tries to capture white on the outside, but it's not possible. So then white lives with everything, and black resigns. Yeah. Well, maybe still it's possible to live currently with such a move, and then here, and I don't know, here, and go out. But Or I don't know, does this work? Probably not, but who knows. But yeah, the mistake was this cut. This black didn't have power to start a fight here, and black didn't need it because black already gained a lot. It was enough to continue calmly, and we can go to the end game and maybe still win this game. Yeah, so this is it about this game. It went quite interesting. Thank you for watching.